You become certain by doing, by testing, by learning what actually works through direct experience. So ask yourself honestly, what is the one thing you have been putting off? The thing you keep telling yourself you will start when conditions improve. When you have more money, more time, more knowledge, or more support. That thing probably does not need better conditions. It needs you to begin with the conditions you already have and improve as you go. Start small if you must. Start imperfectly if you have to. Start quietly if that makes it easier. But start. Because starting is the only action that turns possibility into reality. Everything else is just thinking about doing. And thinking alone creates nothing. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. This applies to everything in life. Yes, it would have been better to start earlier. But you did not. So the only question that matters is this. Will you start now, or will you keep waiting? Many people waste years preparing to be ready for something they could have begun learning immediately. They take course after course, read book after book, and watch video after video, telling themselves they are getting ready. But often this is just procrastination disguised as productivity. Theoretical knowledge without application is entertainment. It feels productive, but it produces nothing. You consume, you prepare, you learn, but you do not build, you do not create. You do not test yourself against reality. Stop studying success and start creating it. Stop reading about other people's journeys and start taking your own. Stop waiting to feel confident and start building confidence through action. Confidence is not a prerequisite for action. Confidence is the result of action. You do not develop it by sitting still. You develop it by doing things that scare you and surviving them. By attempting things you are not sure you can do and discovering that you can. Right now, someone less qualified than you is attempting something you have been dreaming about. They are gaining experience while you hesitate. They are building skills while you wait for readiness to appear. They are creating results while you hope clarity will arrive without effort. Do not let that be your story. Do not reach the end of your life wondering what could have been if you had just started, if you had just tried, if you had just acted despite fear and uncertainty. The right time is now. Not because now is perfect, but because now is real. Now is what you have. Now is where action is possible. Everything else is fantasy waiting and wasted time. Start now. Adjust later. Move forward imperfectly rather than standing still perfectly. Motion beats meditation every single time. This is Stoicism Breath. Lesson 10. Take full ownership of everything. Marcus Aurelius said the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is one of the hardest truths to accept and one of the most freeing. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your parents. Not your partner. Not your friends. Not the government. Not luck. Not the universe. Not some future version of you who magically has everything figured out. Nobody. Your problems are yours to solve. Your dreams are yours to chase. Your life is yours to build fully and completely without exception. Yet most people live in a quiet state of waiting. Waiting for their boss to finally recognize their value. Waiting for their partner to change. Waiting for the economy to improve. Waiting for motivation to suddenly appear. They wait for permission, for opportunity, for resources, for someone to rescue them. And while they wait, life keeps moving. Years pass quietly. Potential fades. Options shrink. Until one day they realize the truth. Nobody was coming. The rescue they were waiting for was something they were supposed to give themselves. Adulthood truly begins the moment you stop expecting rescue and take full responsibility for your life. Not because everything is your fault. Many things that happen to you were not your fault at all, but they are still your responsibility. You did not choose your parents. You did not choose your genetics or your early circumstances. But you do choose what you do with everything you were given. You choose whether your past becomes an excuse or fuel. You choose whether you remain stuck or move forward. This level of responsibility can feel frightening because it removes every excuse. You can no longer point outward and say, "That is why my life looks like this." You have to look inward and accept that if something is not working, you are the one who must change it. But this responsibility is also deeply empowering. Because if you are responsible, you are powerful. If you are part of the problem, you are also part of the solution. If you helped create this situation, you can create a different one. Nothing stays the same except what you choose not to change. Stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating them. Stop waiting for opportunities and begin generating them. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you and start believing in yourself, then prove it through action. Stop blaming your parents for your current struggles. Yes, they shaped you. And no, it was not all healthy. But you are an adult now, and continuing to blame them only hands your power away. Stop blaming the economy, the system, or your circumstances. Yes, some people start with advantages you did not have. Life is not fair. But focusing on unfairness keeps you stuck. Focusing on what you can control moves you forward. Stop blaming bad luck, bad timing, or bad breaks. Setbacks happen. Failures happen. That is part of being alive. Blaming external forces for lack of progress is comfortable helplessness. Take ownership of your health. No one else will exercise for you. No one else will choose better food for you. Your body is your responsibility. Take ownership of your finances. No one else will save for you. No one else will invest for you. Your money is your responsibility. Take ownership of your relationships. No one else will communicate for you. No one else will set boundaries for you. Your connections are your responsibility. Take ownership of your growth. No one else will develop you. No one else will push you forward. Your evolution is your responsibility. This does not mean you cannot ask for help. It does not mean you must do everything alone. It means you stop expecting others to do for you what only you can do for yourself. It means you step into the role of the main character in your life instead of waiting in the background for someone else to lead. When you take full ownership, everything changes. This is Stoicism Breath. When you take full ownership of your life, something powerful happens. Problems stop feeling like threats and start becoming challenges you can solve. Obstacles turn into opportunities to grow stronger. Setbacks become feedback that shows you what to adjust next. You do not become unstoppable because nothing ever blocks your path. You become unstoppable because you refuse to stay down. You keep moving forward regardless of conditions. That is freedom. That is real power. This is the difference between living as a victim of circumstances and living as the architect of your own destiny. One waits and hopes. The other builds and adapts. Stop waiting. Start owning. Your life is yours to build, and the building begins now. Lesson 11 is simple but profound. Surround yourself with builders. There is an old African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. The people you spend time with shape you more than you realize. This is not motivational talk. It is documented reality. Their habits influence your habits. Their standards slowly become your standards. Their conversations shape how you think. Their emotional state affects your energy. So take a moment and look honestly at the 5 people you spend the most time with. What are they building? What are they becoming? What do they talk about every day? What do they prioritize? If the conversations revolve around gossip, complaining about circumstances they refuse to change, replaying the same problems without action, or constant distraction and entertainment, then those people are anchors. They may feel like company, but they are quietly pulling you backward. Your inner circle should sound different. They should be talking about growth, about what they are learning, what skills they are developing, what mistakes they made, and what those mistakes taught them. Growth-focused conversations energize you. They stretch your thinking. They expose you to possibilities you did not see before. They should talk about money in a healthy way, not complaining about what they cannot afford or obsessing over spending, but discussing how to build wealth, creating income streams, learning to invest, improving financial literacy, understanding how money actually works instead of staying stuck in frustration. They should talk about discipline, about routines, about commitments, about the hard choices they are making when no one is watching. Discipline-focused conversations normalize effort. They remind you that progress is not dramatic but consistent. They show you what dedication looks like in real life. They should talk about building, creating businesses, developing skills, establishing systems, producing something of value. These conversations shift you from a consumer mindset to a creator mindset. You start thinking about what you are contributing to the world instead of only what you are taking from it. If your current circle is not having these conversations, you have 2 choices. You can elevate the conversation, or you can change the circle. Always try elevating first. Bring new topics to the table. Share what you are learning. Ask people about their goals. Gently shift the energy from complaining to creating. Some people will respond. They were also tired of surface-level talk and were waiting for someone to go first. But others will resist. They will mock ambition. They will pull conversations back to familiar, comfortable ground. They may make you feel strange for wanting more. These people are not bad. They are just not growing. And they do not want to be reminded that growth is possible. When that happens, it is time to change the circle. Not with drama. Not with announcements. Simply by spending less time with those who drain you and more time with those who energize you. Who you walk with determines how far you go. Choose builders. This is Stoicism Breath. If you want to change your life, you must deliberately place yourself around people who are building something. Seek out communities centered on the skills you want to develop. Attend events where ambitious people naturally gather. Put yourself in environments where the default conversation is about progress, growth, and improvement, not complaints and problems. This often means choosing discomfort. It means walking into rooms where people are further ahead than you. It means being the least experienced person there. Admitting you do not know everything. Asking questions that expose your ignorance. Do it anyway. Because being the least knowledgeable person in a room full of experts will grow you faster than being the smartest person in a room full of mediocrity. Your inner circle determines your direction. If everyone around you is stuck, you will likely remain stuck. But if everyone around you is growing, you will be pulled forward by their momentum, whether you realize it or not. Stop trying to hold on to friendships that no longer support your growth. Stop feeling guilty for outgrowing people. This is a natural part of life and development. Stop accepting social dynamics that keep you small just to make others feel comfortable. Build a circle that builds you. One that challenges you. one that celebrates your progress, one that holds you accountable, one that reminds you of what is possible when you stop making excuses. Your future depends on this choice. Choose carefully. Lesson 12 is where most people fail. Stop learning and start doing. Action is the foundation of all success. The modern self-improvement industry has quietly created a generation of professional students. People who consume endless content but never graduate into real action. They have watched thousands of hours of videos, read hundreds of books, taken countless courses, and are still standing in the same place. You are probably one of them. Most people are. Because learning feels productive. It feels safe. It creates the comforting illusion of progress without the risk of actually changing anything. But information without execution is just expensive entertainment. You are consuming, not building. You are learning about transformation, not transforming. You are studying success, not creating it. You do not have an information problem. You already know what to do. You know you should eat better, exercise regularly, manage your money wisely, develop valuable skills, take calculated risks, communicate honestly, and invest in yourself. This is not secret knowledge. Everyone knows this. The real problem is execution. The real problem is discipline. The real problem is choosing comfort over progress day after day, and then wondering why nothing changes. Discipline is doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It is not motivation. Motivation is emotional, inconsistent, and unreliable. Motivation shows up when things are exciting and disappears the moment things get uncomfortable. Discipline shows up on bad days. Discipline is keeping promises to yourself when no one is watching. It is choosing long-term benefits over short-term comfort. It is building systems that make success inevitable because you have removed the option to quit. You do not need another book. You need to close this and do one thing you have been avoiding. You do not need another course. You need to practice what you already learned. You do not need more inspiration. You need to act even when you do not feel inspired. The gap between knowing and doing is where dreams die. That gap is filled with excuses, fear, perfectionism, and the comfortable lie that you are not ready yet. But you will never be ready. Growth begins with action taken now. This is Stoicism Breath. Readiness is not something you wait for. It is something you build by doing. Confidence does not appear before action. It is created by action. So stop consuming content about change and start creating change through behavior. Stop watching other people's success stories and start writing your own. Stop preparing for a life you keep postponing. Ask yourself honestly, what is the one thing you know you should be doing but keep avoiding? The hard conversation, the difficult project, the uncomfortable risk, the simple habit you know would change everything if you stayed consistent. That thing is exactly what you need to do today. Not perfectly. Not with full confidence. Not when you feel ready. Do it imperfectly. Do it scared. Do it unsure. Because action creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Results create confidence. And confidence fuels more action. This is the cycle that builds a strong, healthy, meaningful life. But the cycle only works if you start it. And you start it by doing something. Anything that moves you forward instead of just thinking about moving forward. Your life will not change through learning alone. It changes through consistent, disciplined action over time, even when it feels uncomfortable. Even when fear shows up. Even when resistance is loud. So stop reading. Stop researching. Stop planning endlessly. Do one thing today that proves to yourself this time is different. You have power over your mind, not over outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you stop waiting to be rescued and start building your life, everything shifts. Not because the world suddenly becomes easier, but because your relationship with the world changes. You stop living as a victim waiting for relief and become the architect designing outcomes. This shift requires accepting uncomfortable truths. Silence is often more powerful than words. Peace is chosen, not given. Teachers matter more than trophies. The family you build matters more than the one you inherited. Your job is a tool, not your identity. Society map often leads to places you do not want to go. A few quality friendships matter more than endless connections. Forgiveness frees you, not the other person. Action beats preparation. Nobody is coming to save you. Your circle shapes your future. And you already know enough. You just need to do more. These truths are not comfortable. They require letting go of old stories. Stories about why you cannot start yet. Why it is too late. Why conditions must change first. Why someone else should act before you do. These stories are chains, and you are the only one holding the key. By the time you reach your 30s, life stops being gentle. The world stops rewarding potential and starts demanding results. Your 20s were for exploring and making mistakes. Your 30s are for execution and outcomes. Every year you spend waiting for perfect conditions is a year you will never get back. You have one life. One opportunity to see what you are capable of when you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility. This means building quietly, not announcing every plan, not explaining every choice, not seeking validation for every step, just working while others talk. It means moving patiently, not expecting instant results, not quitting because progress feels slow, trusting the process and staying consistent. And it means moving relentlessly, continuing even when you are tired, not treating setbacks as final, not stopping when motivation fades, showing up with discipline again and again. The world does not reward hope or intentions or plans. It rewards action. Consistent, disciplined, relentless action taken by people who decide to stop being victims and start being builders. So ask yourself, what will you do now? Will you listen, feel inspired for a moment, and return to old habits? Or will you close this and do one thing differently right now? One action that proves you are ready to stop learning and start living. The choice has always been yours. The power has always been yours. The responsibility has always been yours. And now you know no one is coming to decide for you. This moment matters. No more excuses. No more waiting. Commit. I build relentlessly now. This is Stoicism Breath.